Wow, you're just blown away. And speaking of blown away, let's go ahead and check this out. Bonus featured match is going to be featuring a Memento duelist versus MITSURUGI RYZEAL. So we got to see that Mermail was still in the top cut, but Memento is still making its way there too.
Yep, we got Anthony over here on the left piloting Memento. We have Henry G on the right piloting MITSURUGI RYZEAL. Love to see it. These, again, are decks that we've been talking about all day. We saw Memento win back-to-back YCS recently, but we actually haven't seen it featured yet in this live stage, so glad we can show it off now.
Let's go and break down the game. So Anthony is up 1-0 against his opponent Henry. He's got 8,000 life points to 7,200, and it looks like we are mid-turn here as a Dynamundo seems to be slopping down, but there's Call by the Grave being sent out. So it appears to be the main phase one there of Anthony's turn.
Yep, and we're just trying our best to play through this fully established MITSURUGI RYZEAL board. Henry has access to a detonator with 3 more materials, as well as an IP Masquerena from the looks of it. And a Solemn Judgment, I believe, on that Call by the Grave, was it? To just try to stop that stymie effect.
So very smart there. That means that Dynamundo is definitely going to get it done. Very cool to still see Memento. You know, I know I'm always like, hey, fam, hey, you listening to my voice, you can still play your favorite deck, but these duelists demonstrate it even better. Memento, still here. Mermail, still here. What is it with the letter M being so good in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game? MITSURUGI, still here.
Very
Malice, definitely still here.
Yes. And then we see the MOMENTO Fusion coming down. Going to be trying to summon a powerful fusion monster. We're going to go ahead and return the Tatsuno Toshigo from our graveyard, and I think send another one from our hand to go into Twin Dragon. This will let him keep playing and try to break through the board here. But there we see the Imperm on the Twin Dragon. That might deny him whatever resources he needs to keep playing through.
Now, this is going to sound strange.
Okay.
But do you recognize Anthony as the Memento duelist that we played against at the Team YCS?
As he's conceding, I can answer that question. I think so. I think you did play against him.
I think he is the Memento duelist. He's an incredible Memento duelist, so we do have quite a treat there. But it does look like we are 1-1, so he's being a little hard on himself there as he is figuring out his side deck card. Just an incredible Memento duelist. So good.
Now, I wonder if he's just playing pure Memento or if he's playing things like the Goblin Bikers or the Feedsmith cards. It's like extra engines that can supplement his main strategy.
Well, the last time we dueled, I think he was just playing pure Memento, and it is a decision, right, not to run any Goblin Biker packages like Goblin Biker Grand Breakout, but let's see what he gets here.
We're going to start off with the Bone Party. Going to be destroying a card from hand. It's going to be the Combined Creation. Getting that in the graveyard now is really nice, but drawing it's not the best. So
not so much. I mean, at least it's in the grave, and that helps. This is going to resolve. So now we're going to see the Memento Anguish, but it gets negated by Henry's Infinite Impermanence, so no search this time.
And we don't have another Bone Party in our hand that we can't even use to protect it anyway, and there's no Fusion as well being activated from Anthony here. But there we see the Grand Breakout. So we are playing that, just probably get into Memento Goblin at the very least.
Let's go ahead and bring out our favorite goblin, Memento Goblin. Not quite a Goblin Biker, but maybe what's left of one.
This is still more than full combo for himself, so let's see if we can go there. We're using the Anguish as well to add the Sleepy. Now we're going to use the Sleepy's effect to summon itself because the card has been destroyed this turn.
Oh, I guess maybe, yeah, okay, so we did get that. Perfect. So I think it's fusion time for another Twin Dragon.
Yep, Sleepy being able to go into Twin Dragon is super huge for Anthony because he gets to conserve that Momental Infusion that's in his hand.
And he used it for such great effect with things like Guardian Chimera, so we'll see if that comes up here as a way to sort of disrupt MITSURUGI RYZEAL plays.
Yeah, so he might save it as an end board piece if he doesn't get access to Memento Mictlan, the field spell.
So we're going to go ahead and grab the
Mementolin Horn Dragon, I believe.
That's correct.
That's a really cool sort of interaction as well. Just a free pop too. It's pretty good. Maybe we see Dark Blade. Have we normaled? No, I don't think we have. So then we have Goblin coming back onto the board here.
Trying to figure out what's next.
Going to use Goblin's effect to dump 2 by destroying itself.
Memento being another one of those great decks that you can sort of practice by yourself just to make sure that you know all the combos and sort of explore, kind of get into the training lab and figure out, could I go this direction, that direction? What happens if I try this? But right now it looks like we're going to go ahead and send 2 Memento monsters to the graveyard.
It is the opposite of a linear deck. It is very squiggly.
Mm-hmm. The squiggliest of lines, but we're going to go ahead and send Organic and a copy of Memento Infusion to the grave.
Ooh, having one already in the graveyard is really cool because we already have one in hand, which means we can bring it back later with Memento Mictlan if we get that in rotation with Creation King. That could be sick.
Well, we've added the fusion to the hand. Looks like we're going to go and burn one of those now.
Oh, if Anthony does this just to hide the fact that he has a second one from Henry, that is a really powerful way to win the information warfare that can be Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes.
I definitely telegraphed that I needed to search this, but turns out joke's on you, I already had one. So we're going to go ahead and fuse, and now we're getting the Creation King, shuffling these cards back, and likely dumping it back into the graveyard, too.
And every time I see this card, I just go, wow, this is the best card ever made. I get to send 3 more names to the graveyard, including another one of itself if I wanted to. And when it's in the graveyard, I can banish it and get a field spell. Plus, I can pop during my opponent's turn if I wanted to.
Yeah, Memento is pretty insane, and I'm glad duelists are realizing that, because for a long time, it was just missing. And I'm sure somebody in the chat is typing right now, I was playing Memento when it started. Well, hey, chat, I know that too, because I was doing the same. But it's nice when people unlock the full potential of a deck and take the time to showcase it here at such a high level of play like Anthony's doing.
And if you would have told me whatever any deck needs to become like crazy strong is a triple Foolish Burial, I'd be like, oh yeah, I think that would work. And
it's not just a triple Foolish Burial. You can even mix and match. Like, 2 from the extra and 1 from the deck. 3 from the deck. 2 from the... It's so customizable.
If that was all it did, I feel like I'd still play it, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Multiple copies.
So there we see that Micton like I was talking about. And so now what we can do is we can go for the really cool thing at the end of turn to put back Bone Party face down. That's pretty cool. And then still have the hidden fusion that we have from Henry.
Definitely gives you a lot of different options there. Gonna go ahead and banish, probably to destroy our Memento Lingatic. Gonna go ahead and grab something else from the deck here. Plays never stop.
We're gonna be adding Bone Party? For another copy of Fusion?
Maybe? He was looking at it.
Those are both good options. This lets you use your Memento Mictlan for more things, which is cool. We're going to use the effect of Memento Mictlan to summon. Henry just asking a clarifying question here of what's happening. Always important to do. Especially when all these effects are flying everywhere like Memento can do.
Wait, there's more. Again, during the end phase, Memento Mictlan is going to be able to set a Memento spell or trap from the graveyard to the field. So the hits keep on hitting.
Yep, so there we have Aki Huron and Mace. Those were cards that we sent off of Creation King earlier. And this just gives us our infinite grind game plus our extra form of disruption against the opponent in the form of Mace.
This looks like Mace is destroying the Aki Huron in order to search an additional Memento card from the deck to the hand.
Like, if I'm Anthony, I'm trying to go for, like, you know, a Horn Dragon line plus, like, end on Creation King plus, like, double spell card face down. That is such a layered board of interaction.
Taking a moment to think about what's next. We haven't seen Cranium Burst in a while, but for the most part, the Memento uses every single card of the archetype, which is always a good sign.
Especially in their side deck, you know, having things like Cranium Burst, or what's that trap card with Trihorn Dragon on the art? It's
Fracture.
Like Fracture Dance.
Memento Fracture, yeah. You could destroy a Memento card or 2, one of your own cards and one of your opponents or 2 if they happen to have the combined creation on the field.
Yeah, both are super solid ways to kind of make your deck even more powerful going first, but most of the time you don't need them, but in games 2 and 3, they're more than welcome.
Oh, you're right about the no normal summon because it looks like Darkblade's about to drop down.
Oh, that is just... And didn't we add Tatsuno Toshigo as well, or am I crazy?
I believe we did, so let's go ahead and destroy the Darkblade in order to special summon a level 3.
It's going to get back another Anguish. All their effects have been used, but it's just another name. You can't go wrong with that. And there is the Tatsuno Toshigo. The horse has hit the board. But we've gone through all of our low-level names, so we won't get that many cards. But there we see the Relinquished Anima coming down by sending the Mace to the graveyard. Now we're going to link 2.
For an SP Little Knight?
For a Herald! Oh my god.
What? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Herald of Mirage Lights coming down, and the SP Little Knight, like you said. Wow, so we have a spell trap interaction, I believe, is the way Mirage Light works. Plus we have an SP Little Knight, which is just a great card. And we're going to end on, I believe, double Memento spell card, Lust Combined Creation, and a known Horn Dragon in hand?
And if any card effects are activated on Henry's turn, and I'm pretty sure he came to this event to activate card effects, then Combined Creation will be able to special summon a card, and it could be Anguish, and then Anguish could go ahead and bring another card to the hand, such as Mace, in order to take a monster from the opponent, or Goblin, in order to protect any targeting that turn.
I just love decks like Memento, decks like Malice, decks like Mitsurugi that have such layered forms of interaction. Like, let's say Henry goes Raigeki, and it can't be negated by Mirage Lights. You just destroy everything in your board. You're like, okay, cool. I still have all my spell cards. I still have a Horn Dragon, and I can still probably use the Creation King anyway.
So you're saying you like decks that say yes many times instead of one deck that says no once?
Oh, 1,000%. Yep, so there's the Horn Dragon like I talked about. We're going to reset a Bone Party here using the effect of Memento Miklon during the end phase. And we're just double-checking here how Mirage Light works. To my knowledge, it'll just tribute itself and then negate whatever card you want to go for.
Feels pretty good. That is a lot of interaction. Dare I say it. But Anthony has established the strongest board I have ever seen in Memento.
Is Mace a fairy?
I think it's a spellcaster, but Anguish is definitely a fairy.
Oh, I see. I was like, how did we get the fairy to summon it? I forget. Yeah, because all the Mementos have like different types and stuff, so...
They do. Works well with there could be only one.
Yeah, there are some funny extra deck monsters you can go into, like Mirage Lights here.
Anguish is the dark spellcaster.
So Mace must be the fairy then.
Mace is the light fairy, you're right.
Super cool. But here we see Henry starting his turn off with X RYZEAL. If you want to break a board, that is a good way to start. Going to be sending, of course, the Meteorologic Aggregator here. Chainlink 1 X, Chainlink 2 Aggregator.
Well, but what card do you negate?
Because the problem is this SP can at least get a level 4 off the board. The Mirage Lights is really scary. And then Creation King just says, oh, by the way, this Creation King comes down and can pop multiple things on your board if I want it to.
Oh, it's insane. All right, so it looks like we're going to try to go. Yeah, we're going to go SP Little Knight, target X RYZEAL and SP Little Knight.
Yeah, and that's going to work. Those will not be banished until the end phase. And then I believe the Aggregator's effect will resolve. And I believe it targeted the Combined Creation.
Which is smart for sure, because you don't want your opponent to get even more Memento monsters. I think they've showcased quite enough Mementos.
But we know he has the Bone Party face down for Henry, but what he doesn't know about is the fusion that you and I know about.
We're in on the joke, he is not.
And if we do see a Guardian Chimera play, like the amount of removal Anthony has access to on this turn is just, I think, like 5 pops or something, if I did my math right?
That's
maybe
wild.
More?
Well, let's see the Ame no Hapakiri no Mitsurugi get activated. That once per dual effect.
We've been seeing it all weekend long, and every time we just keep going, wow, wowie, wow, wow.
What a great final piece to their puzzle, right? We all kind of speculated, okay, there should be a third ritual monster coming, but I don't think I could have expected a card this powerful. It just gets done so much for the deck, being able to special summon immediately tribute. So Saji go into the graveyard here, and let's grab another copy of the Mitsurugi ritual from the deck.
And that's going to be really huge here. Now, the one unfortunate thing about Memento is that, it's like you said, you don't stop your opponent from doing stuff, but you go, okay, that was a nice thing you did. It's now going to, I'm just going to get rid of it now.
Now it's Bone Party time.
If I'm Anthony, I'm saving this Mirage Lights for that ritual.
I mean, just with the advantage involved. So we are going to use the Anguish. And so Chainlink 1 and Chainlink 2, looks like we're using both Memento Miklon to go ahead and special summon a Memento monster from the graveyard with less than the destroyed Memento monster.
Which I believe is...
everything, because it's level 11.
Like, yeah, level... Yeah, is it 12? Level 11, 12? I think it's really big.
It's big. It's big.
Ooh, but there we have
Called by the Grave. Wow.
That's pretty big, because I believe you target with Mentor. Like, oh, but there we see Crossout Designator coming down, the 1 of 1, to say no to the other 1 of 1.
Now, that does give a little bit of information to Henry. His graveyard is safe. There will not be a Called by the Grave coming his way, because both of those cards are at 1 each.
And that means Henry does not know what that last set face down is, but again, we do. But we are going to be able to use the Anguish effects and gets the Mace, but we don't have Combined Creation anymore. So Mace doesn't do anything in the hand.
That is correct.
But we did get the Creation King, which can, like I said, pop multiple cards. Oh, we're using Mirage Light. Oh, sorry. Mirage Light discards fairies.
Yes.
He doesn't tribute himself. That's what
so
it was.
by using Anguish, the spellcaster, to search the fairy, now you got a fairy in your hand. You're like, cool. No to that spell card. So maybe there's at least one no in this new Memento build.
Ooh, but there we see the prayers here. So we did have some still powerful Mitsurugi spell cards, but I'm not sure if this is enough for Henry to keep playing because we still have the Horn Dragon and the Creation King, plus the set face down. And here we get to see the overwhelming snowball of advantage that the Memento deck can muster.
Henry considering his options, very few cards left at his disposal. 12 minutes left on the clock, but he's got to figure out how to get out of this turn, let alone the next 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah. This is where the rubber meets the road in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, we're going to slither on down, reptile style, but Henry does need to make a move.
I think we're just deciding what card we're going to try to tribute with this prayers here. We know we have the Amino Ibikiri no Mitsurugi, but that might not be enough. Ooh, he does have the Kusanagi already in hand, right? So he can just bring back prayers with that and use it again. And then he can go into Murakumo, right? And then he can board wipe.
Well, let's let Henry do the talking here, but he does go ahead and tributes the Amano Habakiri no Mitsurugi.
Okay.
Going into the deck and getting out.
Oh, no, he didn't have Kusanagi. I think it was Aramasa that I saw.
Gotcha. I think that would be the Kusanagi.
Yes, that
He's
one.
adding it from his deck to his hand. And then special summoning the Saji.
And we already used Saji this turn because we summoned it with Habakiri. So now we're going to use the Habakiri's effect to search for another Mitsurugi card. This will get the Murakumo, like I mentioned earlier. But how are we going to summon this card without a ritual spell card? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think Henry's about to show us. Take a look at the Trihorn Dragon. Now remember, when the Trihorn Dragon is destroyed, you can also target additional cards on both sides.
So here we see them. I forgot he hasn't normal summoned yet, so we just normal summon the Kusanagi, and then we get the ritual spell back that way. That's pretty huge.
Almost forgot this was a RYZEAL deck since we have only been making reptile-based plays for a while, but he does have 2 level 4s on the field. Could be a duo drive coming his way.
That is very true.
Maybe that's the strat here, trying to play through as much as he can with all of his Mitsurugi monsters, and then finally pivot back into the RYZEAL if he's able to keep anything. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We're going to go ahead and destroy cards on either side of the field using the combined Creation King.
Yep, we're destroying both our Anguish and our Creation King to destroy both of their monsters. We're going to use, I think, Anguish to summon back out Akihiron, and then Akihiron on summon will go ahead and add back. Oh yeah, Akihiron is one of those cards you should definitely read. It's got 3 very scary effects, none of which are good for you.
Well, the direct attack effect isn't going to come into play now, but the other 2 might. So we're going to go ahead and activate the Mitsurugi Ritual.
Going to go ahead and choose the effect to summon from hand, and I believe we can just send from the materials that we need from deck to the graveyard. And this will be a, Raigeki-like effect, which could be pretty huge for the program that is Henry.
All right, where he might be loading the code here. Takes a look at the field, takes a look at his hand, takes a look at his card. And now he seems to have it.
Ooh, sending Night Sword Serpent plus Aramasa. That'll allow him to add another monster to his from his deck to his hand, plus summon back up the Night Sword Serpent because it was tributed.
So maybe the ritual isn't going to be that. I think we are just going to get the Amano Habakiri no Mitsurugi out on the field.
Isn't that Murakumo?
Can't quite make it out from here. But we do have the Night Sword Serpent in defense mode. Oh, that's right, because there's the Habakiri in the hand now.
Yeah, they're both large snaky boys.
They are the biggest snaky boys.
And then we did go ahead and get that Raigeki-like effect clearing Anthony's board, so all the interruptions have now been played through, if you're Henry, the ones that he knows about.
We've talked about this before, but Memento is a weird deck because it loves destroying, but unlike decks like Fire King, it doesn't really get anything if it's destroyed. There's no positive interactions there.
Yep, so we went ahead and used Akihiron's effect, I believe, to add back there. I believe we added back a Bone Party. And there we see the Momental Infusion, which can fusion summon from the graveyard.
All right, let's see what he returns. Going to put Mace back, as well as... Oh, he's just going for the Memetalon Twin. That's wild.
But I think we've played through whatever Henry has, so he's just going to go use the Twin, search for 2 more. This can get Sleepy. Sleepy can fusion summon again.
Yeah.
We're going to get Gaddock as well.
Twin Dragon really coming through here. Going to go ahead and special summon the Memetalon Anguish as well. Just a wild time. We saw a really quick duel when we jumped into Santiago at Spencer's Mermail versus Mitsurugi RYZEAL. This is the exact opposite. This one game alone is about 3 to 4 times longer than the featured match we started this round with.
Yep, and then we saw the battle phase. We went ahead and swung over the Anguish, and now it looks like we're in main phase 2 as Henry. And he's like, well, I can't summon any more level 4 monsters. If you could just summon a level 4 monster right now and go for RYZEAL combo after this, that would have been pretty scary. But yep, during the end phase, SP and X RYZEAL come back in case y'all forgot about those boys. Here they are.
It has been a long turn. I would not blame you if you did.
And now, if you're Anthony, the only question you have on your mind is 7,200 damage. 7,200 damage. How can we do this? And the answer is Akihiron.
If you can attack directly with your level 9 or higher Memento Land monsters, yeah, it's pretty good.
Actually, we've seen 2 Creation King out of Anthony, and most Memento decks play 2. I wonder
Could
if he
there
has
be a
any
third? Yeah, only one way to find out.
More. Ooh, we hard drew Goblin for turn. Oh my god, we're just going to normal summon Goblin and then offer the concession? But then Anthony's like, oh no, we don't need to do that.
I think he's still going. Henry needs to watch his gestures there. That did look like a concession to me too, right?
He's like
offering the handshake.
He's probably like, oh, come on, man, you drew Goblin as well? Which I've been known to say as well, many times. Going to go ahead and get Akihiron back here, which will then let us again add back from our graveyard to our hand. I believe we have Tatsu no Toshigo, so we can get him back too.
So we're going to go ahead and banish the MEMENTO Land Fusion from the graveyard.
Just debating here what we want to destroy, it looks like.
All right, 5 names.
Here comes the Creation King. Sorry, Combined Creation.
They're both creation-y. That's all I need to know. But 5,000 attack hits the field, and Sleepy is going to go ahead and bring itself out as well. It's time for a fusion summon here, combining Gaddock, Akihiron, and Sleepy for a Creation King. And remember, Akihiron said both of those can attack directly. That's already 8,000 points of attack on the board.
And I believe the Akihiron does not need to be in play. It just does it when it's summoned.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Here we're just seeing how this was summoned. We used Akihiron plus Gaddock plus Sleepy. And now Gaddock's effects will activate, as well as Akihiron's effect. We'll get Gaddock back, and then we'll go ahead and search.
Just pressing on. Anthony's certainly not afraid of Nibiru. Although Nibiru would be pretty heads up from Henry right now, tributing all his own monsters, right?
Oh my god, that would be so powerful.
I still haven't gotten to see it. I would love to see a Nibiru tribute a bunch of monsters off the field that actually got effects when they were tributed.
It's always a toss-up, you know, because like if you are playing the RYZEAL version, you don't want to get rid of your own detonator.
Correct. Especially when there's only one to speak of now.
All right, there we see Tatsu no Toshigo, a.k.a. the horse. But here we go, the attack directly of Creation King plus
That's
Combined
the handshake.
Creation.
Wow, so Anthony showing the power of Memento in this format. It didn't really lose anything. It just kind of survives. Memento just keeps pushing along. Wow.
We got 2 duelists guaranteed for day 2 for the price of 1 during this round 8 match. That's